accountability. Do you believe, Tim, the Jets should bench Zach Wilson?
I actually don't, Greeny, and it's not because I think that Zach Wilson gives them some, amazing opportunity to, go on this great playoff run and he's going to turn it around. The reason I say it is he's a young quarterback, still early in his rookie deal, and as soon as you bench him because you don't think he's good enough to help you make a playoff run and you're going to go to Joe Flacco or Mike White because you think they give you this much better opportunity for that, I think you're done with him. And Greeny, you know this. I think it's hard. I'm glad you kind of set the stage in terms of bad game, bad press conference, because it was such an easy fix. Hey, did the offense, let down the defense? It's like, no, the offense didn't let down the defense. I let down the defense. You just say that, and we're not kind of. I think we're just talking about his performance, not is he capable of leading this football team. Listen to Josh Allen after he struggled. He's like, hey, you can't win when your quarterback plays like this. Because he did that, I think it's certainly snowballing. I think it's hard to recover from. And I don't know that it's going to happen. I just think that if you move on from him right now, then you're moving on from him for good. And to me, I think it's too early to do that just because, I think you have to try to just deal with it and see if he can pull himself out of it.
All right, so let's set the stage of exactly what that would be. Domonique is a student of football history, which is what I am. Once upon a time, a quarterback was the second pick in the draft, and because of a combination of performance and attitude in the locker room, his career wound up lasting almost no time. His name was Ryan Leaf. We do 30 for 30s about him. That's the territory that we are in right this minute with Zach Wilson, if indeed, and Tim is not the only one who was suggesting that the Jets are prepared to move on from Zach Wilson for good. Like Domonique, we're talking about legendary territory here if this thing is over this quickly. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I disagree with Tim in that it means that it's completely over for him. Sometimes a wake-up call is a little bit what you need, and also sometimes some time off or time away is what you need. I'm not saying he needs to leave the team, but time away from the pressure of being the quarterback in New York, I think could be good for him. I don't think this has to be completely framed as a bad thing, but I do think that they have to bench him now and put someone else in, because I'm looking at this and trying to think the best thing you can do for a struggling quarterback is to lean in on what they do well and focus a lot on that and try to support him with talent around him. They can't do anything to the roster. The roster is the roster, and I think it's a fairly talented roster. But more importantly, I don't know what the thing is. I guess it's like short game, throwing slants. I'm not sure what the thing is that you can focus on and say, all right, we're going to make sure that you're comfortable and you're doing this. We bought in on Zach Wilson, or at least some people bought in on Zach Wilson in large part because he had the ability to make wild angle, hard Mahomesian throws, but we haven't really seen him do the basics first, and that's the hard part. And maybe some time away can help him kind of solidify those things first.
Look, for anyone who didn't watch it on Sunday, he couldn't complete a pass behind the line of scrimmage against the New England Patriots on a windy day in which Mac Jones didn't seem to be having anywhere near that level of trouble with the wind. Chris Canty, I'll come to you. On Tim's idea, and you're by no means the only one to say it. Dan Orlovsky was tweeting about it this morning as well. Do you believe, CeCe, that if the Jets bench Zach Wilson now, they are in essence moving on from him for good?
Yeah, I think they are, because Zach Wilson has shown me all I need to see as far as his sports character goes. And it's not just the press conference post-game from Sunday. It's the press conference post-game after the first Patriots game where he said he got bored of getting outside of the pocket, seeing nothing downfield, and throwing the ball away. I'm sorry, G, but when you're the quarterback, you can never get tired of making the right football play. But that's in essence what Zach Wilson has said. And then beyond that, we have an accountability issue. And it's hard for a team to get to where they want to go if the guy that's under center, which is a position of leadership, by the way, at quarterback, is not taking accountability for his production or lack thereof. If I was in that Jets locker room, I got a big problem with Zach Wilson. There's got to be a confrontation. And if he refuses to take accountability for the mistakes, then that conversation can go left real quick. I ain't saying it's an IK and them Kapali situation, but I would understand if that happened, if the Jets players in that locker room didn't get the answers they want from their quarterback, because that defense is a championship caliber right now, and they're winning in spite of their quarterback, not because of him, and that's the problem.
Clear. IK and Impali was also happened on the Jets, because everything does. When Geno Smith was the quarterback of the Jets, one of his own teammates punched him in the locker room and broke his jaw. That's what happened, and that's what Chris is referring to. Neek, go ahead. Domonique.
Yeah, I wonder, like, I understand you don't want to lose Zach Wilson. Well, I guess I don't understand that. The argument is you don't want to lose Zach Wilson, but also, doesn't it feel like you're in the territory of losing everyone else? Like, the things that we hear coming out of that locker room suggest that they're already done with him as far as the team is concerned. So don't lose all your good players for a player that you don't even think is good right now or hasn't shown us up until this point. Like, where is the game? Where is the play? Where is the moment that we can say, all right, there's hope here? Like, we're seeing that from Justin Fields right now. We're not seeing it from Zach. And I would hate to be a leader on this team and try to hold this team together if they keep rolling Zach Wilson out there despite him not producing very much.
Which would mean that the New York Jets would have drafted quarterbacks in the top 3 twice in the last 5 years, Tim, and neither one of them will be their starting quarterback next season. That is the scenario that we are painting right now for a franchise that has gotten so many other things right in the last year or two. But the most important thing, if they got this wrong, and I cannot underline enough the historic territory that we are possibly treading in here with this level of bust, then, Tim, I'll give you the final word on this, because candidly, I'm going to smash my head into a wall.
You're on the money.
Yeah.
No, Greeny, you're on the money. Like, and that's why I said, like, you don't bench him right now, because it's honestly because you need him to pull himself out of it. You do. And look, if I'm Robert Saleh, I'm pulling him into the office and I'm correcting it all. I'm saying, look, that you can't answer questions like that afterwards. You need to take accountability, and we need you to play better. I'm gonna give you the chance to do it, but the leash is not real long, and you've got to find a way to get this locker room back behind you.
All right, we'll see if they can figure out a way to do it. Again, I'm in constant contact.
Out of a slump.
Yeah, stay right there. We'll come back to this. There's so many topics I want to get back to today. I've got calls into everybody that I know over. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.